rejuvenating toner pads. And now if any of you have been to Sephora, and I used to work in Sephora, so when I tell you I am highly, highly educated in a lot of brands, I really mean that. So I can tell you. So these are our toner pads, and they're very similar to MD Skincare. And you might notice that she might get a little reactive because these have vitamin C in them, so they help to brighten and tone the skin, and they help to gently exfoliate. So I like to use this first. And she did come clean face, so I don't have to do any makeup removal or anything. The one thing I do suggest is to keep these away from your eye area because they are very active. So it's not an eye makeup remover. This is not an eye makeup remover, okay? I will make that very clear. If you put these on your eyes, you will be stinging because they are very active. So as you can see, she got a little bit red right away because it does have vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, aloe in it to soothe while it helps to rejuvenate the skin.
Oh my God.
And you came clean. There's a little bit of dirt and grime on that, so you can kind of see.
That's what Karen says.
What did she say, Brett? I just did come to me. I think she said this secretary.
It's funny.
You're not paying attention.
I'm writing. I want to know everything. You do
Pardon the light, I know it's in your way, but I can't see otherwise. I will then use the rose water spray, and like I said, you're going to see more time me prepping the skin. Close your eyes for me. This is just a hydrating spray, and I'll saturate the skin with it and allow it to kind of air dry and sink in.
Rose water?
This is
Yes.
the rose water spray. This is extremely hydrating. If you keep this in the fridge, it will actually be really refreshing in the middle of the summer, and especially if you've had a little bit too much sun.
I thought you were going to say too much to drink. That would work too. You could use it after the hot tub too, in the winter. Can you watch that?
Yeah, I
Oh,
see it.
beautiful.
Okay.
Karen, are you taking notes?
Oh, yeah. No, the first thing was, seriously, Brett,
Huh?
the rejuvenating toner.
The pads.
The toner pads.
Toner pads.
Okay, and
Now, if you were to wash your face, you would wash your face, and then I would have her wash her face normally, and then use a toner pad, and then use the nourishing spray because the rose water spray will help bring down, regulate the pH, and infuse all of the really good ingredients in this pad into the skin. So your vitamin C brightening serum, your hyaluronic acid. I am going to take 2 pumps of the radiant serum. And do you have a spatula over there?
Yes.
And I'm gonna dip my hand in there. And because how old are you? Just if you don't mind me asking. I know it's
60s.
Okay, so because as we age, we start to lose the moisture in our skin. I am not going to be shy with using our rejuvenating radiant serum, which will actually help the molecules in the rejuvenating cream. And this is technically the night cream, but as we age, we get drier. And now that we're going into the winter and we're unsure of air conditioning, heat, there's a lot of differentiations within the skin, so it's really good to keep a really hydrated balance. I will put both in my hands and a generous amount. And I'm going to mix them together.
So that's the night cream.
The night cream and the radiant serum, and all from the rejuvenating line. And bear with me, my hands are cold.
Okay.
And I'm going to just basically press into the skin and neck.
Yeah, there are 2 different things. One is the
Feels good.
one is
Yeah.
the
This is the
So she
favorite
mixed
part.
them both
This is a
together.
lot of people's favorite part. So basically it kind of just goes right in, and I like to really massage it in, because when you're doing any makeup application, it's really, really important to massage the skin a little bit, so you can actually plump up the skin naturally just by giving yourself a little bit of a face massage. So when everyone says to me, can you get rid of my wrinkles? I say, no, I can't. I can't get rid of your wrinkles because I am not a plastic surgeon, but I can certainly tighten up the muscles a little bit for you. So you can do this for yourself at home. And just look straight for me. So I like to take my fingers, and you can do this yourself. You can take your fingers or your knuckles, and I like to just run them right along the jawline.
We should do that every night.
You should be doing it every night if you're sitting at home. You can take our cleansing balm, our moisturizing cleansing balm, and you can use it as a natural massage therapy oil, and it will cleanse your skin at the same time. And you can literally just be bringing anywhere your bones are. So when you feel your bones, this is called the zygomatic bone. So it's your cheekbone. And as I press, there's pressure points in there. So you're actually relieving your lymphatic system. You're draining your skin of toxins as you're doing it. So it's actually really very nice to do to yourself.
How did it feel?
Great. Karen, you're not getting done.
Well, like I said, it's more important. It's more important to take the time to actually prep your skin because you'll have a much more satisfying application of your makeup once you do that.
Why do you
So-
use the night balm instead of the regenerating night cream instead of, isn't there a regenerating day cream?
There is a day cream and there is a night cream. I personally used the night cream on her because when I felt her skin prior, it seemed a little confused as to whether or not it needed moisture or not. So I provided the extra moisture.
But it
just
doesn't
as
give you a greasy feeling?
no.
Not at
Do you
all.
feel greasy?
No.
And actually, if you were to touch her skin, it just feels hydrated. Like if the best way to kind of test it out is to pinch a little bit and see how quickly it bounces back. If it doesn't bounce back so quickly, you're lacking moisture. So that's a good way to test yourself. Look up for me. So I'm just going to take a little bit of our eye cream. This is the rejuvenating eye cream, and this does have caffeine in it. So this is actually really great for helping with dark circles or puffiness.
Oh, got those.
Now, if I were to prep you for the red carpet, a really good trick is to take some cold spoons. Like take spoons and put it in the freezer for about 5 minutes and sit with them on your eyes. Because the cold
On your eyelid?
on your eyes. You just kind of take the spoon hollow part and above your eyes, cup your eyes with it. The cold from the freezer will help to drain and depuff the eyes. But I will tell you that there is no secret weapon for dark circles or puffiness. It's simply genetic.
Concealer.
It's simply
Concealer.
genetic, yeah. And it has to do with your lymphatic system as to whether or not you're draining properly or not. So always place when you're doing your eye cream, always go in the ocular motion with the muscle. So most people tend to go outwards. You're actually tugging the muscle and you're stretching your skin. So always go inwards. And I'm just kind of pressing, and you always want to use your ring finger because it's honestly the weakest finger on your hand. So right now I'm just pressing the skincare into the skin, but as you can see, she looks really nice and hydrated. So.
Gorgeous, Marilyn.
Had to look good to sell Gabby.
I like a damp beauty blender, but because she has some redness, I am going to apply. Here's where we're going to go into the makeup. But you can see I took my time with the skincare, so that's again, it's the most important part.
They're giving you a cheat sheet. With
This is we have some lookbooks. So this is our tint skin complexion. So this is buildable coverage. It's fairly sheer. It's almost like Laura Mercier's tinted moisturizer. That's how I like to compare it because it does have some coverage and it's buildable. So I like to put it on my hands and use a brush to kind of place it in the areas that I want to cover a little bit more.
So is it like a concealer or?
This is actually a foundation.
Like tinted moisturizer or more?
It's a little bit more than a tinted moisturizer, but it's not quite as much as a foundation. So this is the closest thing to a foundation that we do make, and we do call it a foundation for Beautycounter.
Does it come in different shades?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'm using linen on you, so this will probably be your winter color, because as you can see, I'm from the area of makeup where I only like to place it where you have to. So your makeup should actually just completely blend into the skin. Like if I put it here, I don't want to see the difference of the line.
Right.
And I don't know if you guys can tell, but because that's why I have this light kind of up. She had a little bit of redness on her cheeks. And I just kind of place it. I'm not really blending it out yet because I want to have the product on the skin.
I feel so inferior as I'm watching you do this.
This is what we call a damp beauty blender. This is not from Beautycounter, but this is a professional tip. This is a damp sponge. When you use it damp and you press it into the skin, you get a flawless airbrush finish. And you can build the coverage up.
It's one of my favorite new products or tools. It's amazing.
Now doesn't feel damp. Okay.
So do you actually wet it?
You wet it and you squeeze it out.
Right.
And when I was a kid, we had those little sponges that you would put in the bathtub, and then all of a sudden they'd be
They
bigger.
Yeah.
So this is actually like a quarter of the size. It's actually like normally like this size.
Right.
And then you put it in, you squeeze it out, press it between a paper towel or a hand towel if you have one handy, and then I pick up the rest. And you just kind of stretch out some of the regular water that's in there. And what happens is when you use a damp sponge, you're not wasting a lot of product. So when you use a regular sponge, it absorbs into the product, and you're actually losing more than half of your application into the sponge. So
It can be expensive.
yeah, and that can
learned the hard
a
way.
$26 sponge or a $6 sponge or whatever, as long as you use it wet, will save you hundreds of dollars of foundation. So, but she had a lot of redness in her cheeks, and now you can see it. Can you turn to the side? I only mainly placed it in the center of the area, and her you can't tell where the makeup starts and where it stops.
No.
So when you properly prep the skin, that's what happens. You can really just kind of play and add a little bit more coverage. So right now I'm feeling like I might want to cover a little bit more of the redness on her cheek to really bring you down to normal and color correct you. So I'll place it on with the brush. And like you said, I only squeeze the tiniest bit. So a little bit goes a long way.
But if we were doing it, like we would do like more or less most of our face, right? Because we probably wouldn't get it, like to do it only partially, right? Like,
No, you can, this is the same
Really?
thing. You drag what's left on the brush, which is very sheer,
Okay.
out towards the ends. But
Right.
I'm placing what's on the brush. I'm not blending the brush. I'm not blending with the brush. I'm blending with the blender. Does that make sense? So I can
The brush
see
is
when you-
applying.
yeah, I'm applying with the brush. So up here, I can see the lines of the brush on her
Oh,
face. You
okay.
can't see it from there, but I
Right.
can see it. So
Okay.
what I'm gonna do is take the beauty blender,
Mm.
and this is a really great way, this beauty blender, to avoid your makeup settling into fine lines, because it will pick up the extra but leave what needs.
Mhm.
Where do we get that beauty blender if you don't, anywhere you can get it?
You can get it at Sephora, you can order it
Yeah, okay.
online, so. But you
Ulta,
can see,
right?
I was about to say
Ulta.
Ulta. That's
Ulta Real Techniques makes a knockoff kind of one. This one's like 18 or 26, I can't remember. But Real Techniques has like a flat edge, which is easier for
That's what I have.
the everyday client to use.
I
But
have a pink one.
yeah, these are pink. This is the pro color. So because we use them so often.
Mhm.
So So
Don't
basically,
ask if I use it, I just have one.
that's all the foundation I want to put on her because her skin looks healthy and glowy. I don't really want to add too much more coverage because for every day, it's not really necessary. So what I'll do from here is I will then go into the eye. I'm going to use the Cool palette on you. And this is our new, Beautycounter's new holiday palette. And it's got 4 new colors in here. I believe it's the 2 blues and then this one and this one. So the burgundy kind of color and the green. And I have, this is our bronzer one. We have a new highlighter and then I think it's Tulip, a bloom. Our bloom blush is one of our top sellers. So and then we have another palette which is more for warm tone or darker eyes. That's the easiest way to kind of go about it. If you have light eyes, go with the cooler tones, and if you have dark eyes, then go with the warmer tones. I might mix a couple in, but for the most part, I'm gonna use the cooler tones. So less is more, and that's always my theory. I'm gonna go and look up for me. Close your eyes. I'm going to actually go in with our highlighter as my base color for the eye.
Is that light color?
It's actually the middle center color. It's a base color, but I'm gonna use it on the eye. And I'm gonna use it all over. Very sparingly, nothing too major. Make sure you guys can see. So this just gives like a really pretty natural sheen to the eye. And you don't want to use too much shimmer because it tends to make skin look creepier. So it's no glitter. I would stay away from glitter, but I wouldn't necessarily go, straight matte. So I like to start with a little bit of a shimmer. And I'm gonna go in with, I don't know what color it's called. Pearl? Opal. I don't know. It's this kind of like taupey kind of color. You see this color? It's a taupey color in the palette. I don't know which one it is, but do you want to find out? I'm going to lift up her eyebrow, just very minorly, and press this into the lid.
Which one? The third from the end?
It's the fourth from the left. It's all about
It's
the
opal.
placement. Yeah, it's opal. That's what I thought. It's all about the placement of the shadow. So I'm not going to be shy, and all of our shadows are really sheer.
So pretty.
I'm using kind of a fluffier brush too. This is a MAC 217, which is like a most common brushes. The one thing I can't stress to you enough is take your time, because the quicker you go, the messier it looks. And the no makeup look or a very natural look can really be
Not work.
yeah, it really can be really disastrous if you
Not working.
if you're trying too hard to like make it look like you're not wearing makeup. Everyone's gonna see your makeup.
Now, how high do you go on my eye for that?
Can you guys see, by the way?
Yeah,
Is it up to my bone?
So can you feel where I'm placing? I'm going right into the hollow. So her eye hollow right here, her bone, her eyebrow bone, I'm going right underneath it.
Okay.
Because as we age, our lids do get a little bit heavier. So while I pulled it up in the beginning, I let it stay natural, so that way I can see where her bone is and kind of fill in below, right below, without stretching the skin. Because if you stretch the skin, which is our natural thing, because we want to like make sure it's even and okay, well I'm gonna stretch it, I'm gonna make it look perfect like this, and then what happens when you drop it? You can't see anything. So you want to actually allow the skin to be in its natural position, open and look straight. So if I were to actually, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna add a little bit of the blue.
The blue is called
Open and
marine.
look straight.
So pretty.
here
take
for me.
over.
Look at my finger. I'm going to just press the marine into the outer edge. And then I'll go in with a clean brush, a clean, really fluffy brush, while she's looking straight. And blend that in. And look at the difference. Her eye doesn't look like it's sinking down. We didn't just
Right,
place
yeah.
the we didn't place the makeup down farther below. So if I were to go out during the day, I would just leave the eye natural like this, maybe put a little bit of a liner on and a mascara and a lip, and she's good to go because she's got a nice natural flush to her cheek. I wouldn't necessarily add that in during the day. For night, I would look over here for me. Again, just add in this blue, which is so easy to do. And you want to pat the color in so you can make sure that you're kind of getting in a good spot. And you take a clean brush and just blend it out so there's no harsh lines. And I'm really very lightly doing this. I am not jabbing. I hope I'm not jabbing.
Marilyn, no.
No. I hope I'm not jabbing
Nope.
you. But look straight at me. So again, you can keep adding, like as much as, it's always great to start light and you can just keep adding it. But because I can see where her brow bone is and blend it out, I can make her eyes look really lifted. It's a very youthful look.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I really like, I really like it.
And you just want to make sure that it blends out. So it's I'm really doing nothing with this brush. There's no color on it, except I'm just removing excess powder that I don't want there anymore, that I just kind of want it to be soft. For eyeliners, I'm going to go in with their blue, the navy color. I will always warm it up on my hand first. If you ever take a crayon or a pencil and you just go straight at your eye, you're going to be tugging. So always, even before you do it on yourself, warm up the product. It needs to melt out a little bit. You see how much more color I just got in the center of my hand? It's because I melted it down. Look down for me, close, close. And here's where I'm going to bury the liner, right into her lash line. So I'm almost not even drawing a line, I'm burying it in.
I have this color and I love it.
That's the
I'm
color
wearing it
she's wearing now.
It's my favorite navy.
It's
Color
navy.
your eyes look green, right?
Hazel. But we have navy, a violet, which is gorgeous as well, black and brown.
And it's called navy?
Yes.
Clear.
Yes.
I'm looking at the color on it, it's called navy. Open for me. So I basically just put it open and look straight. I put it towards the outer edge of her eye because I want to keep the eye open looking. I don't want to carry it all the way in because if I carry it all the way in, it's going to make her lids look heavier. Look up for me.
So you start like in the middle of her eye and go to the end, or?
I always start at the outer edge
Right.
and I kind of carry it in, allow it to fade naturally. Like if I want to, I can take a very tiny little cotton bud, which is like this is like a very small
Right.
Q-tip.
Right.
Look up for me, and I can naturally just clean it up and make it fade right in within like a second. So
Q-tip will do the same thing.
yeah.
Okay. And if you start, like you start here and then she just goes to here, is what you're saying, like she doesn't go all the way obviously to here, it's
No.
just kinda like.
You just match the other eye, it's very simple. Close. If you want it to be even more enhanced, which I will show you. keep in mind I didn't do her concealer yet. I'm waiting till after to do the concealer, just so you know.
So you do that at the end.
I'm gonna do it.
Me too, I was just gonna say, it's the first thing to do.
Exactly, that's the first step, yeah.
So a lot of what happens is if you were to come up closely, and I encourage you to, there is a little bit of fallout from the shadow. Or a product maybe like breaking a little bit. It's nothing bad, but it's a natural occurrence. So I don't like to have my concealer on, or say you put your mascara on, you get a little spot somewhere. I don't like to have to redo my entire foundation. So I wait until after. I allow it to dry. This happened to Brett earlier. She put a smudge of mascara on herself, and I said, no, don't touch it. You let it dry and it flakes off. As opposed to smudging the liquid mascara across and then having to redo and never getting it right. So I like to just make sure I clean everything up. It's very simple. You clean it up and then you're good to go. Are you okay with an eyelash color? Okay. Some
You
people
can
are
find
really.
eyelashes.
I can find them. I want you to look straight at me and look here at my belly button. I'm just gonna curl your lashes really quickly. Are
I
you
love
okay?
eyelash curlers. They do miracles. Rachel, what about, sometimes, and I don't know if this is good or bad, I put the blow dryer to it.
I always do.
What is that? I
Prior
mean,
to what?
to my eyelash
So
curler.
two things can happen. This is metal.
And it gets.
Right, I make sure it's not too hot.
Yeah, this is metal, so if you're gonna do that, I really recommend that you make sure that you're not, cause it will heat up very quickly and it can burn you,
Right.
burn your
It
skin
burns
if you
the
touch
top
your
of my
skin,
I do
or
love
burn
that.
your lashes off. And I've seen it happen
So
many
we're not
times.
recommending that tonight?
No, I don't recommend that. I don't recommend that at all.
Why
I don't have
why
insurance.
do you necessarily wanna use an eyelash curler?
What if you don't want to?
Yeah,
You don't have to. I think it opens up the eye a little bit more, but it's not
Do
a.
you put it right against the edge of the eye and then?
I get as close as I can to the actual natural lash line,
Uh-huh,
and
it just sort of lifts the.
yeah, it just lifts the root.
Okay.
So it doesn't. If you catch it too far in the center, you look like you have a crimp.
Crimped eyelashes.
Yeah. So you want to get as close to the root as you can without making sure you don't catch your skin.
Okay.
So look down here again. And with mascara, you just really want to wiggle it towards the base of the lash. And this is our mascara, which is really, it's quite soft looking, but it's buildable.
And it's also great for women who, sometimes when I used to use, and I'll admit, the Maybelline, and it would burn my eyes. And since I started using the Beautycounter, I have no reaction.
Right.
Because who knows what's in,
Do you guys
the
want to see the
Maybelline.
difference between one eye and the
mascara.
other? Can you see the blackness of this one? So she said, can I find her eyelashes? Did I find them? So just a little bit of a curl and a lift, and then a really black mascara.
It's a very tiny brush.
It's a very tiny brush, so it's good for people with shorter lashes because you can really get in. Look down for me.
I think it's all about the brush. I really mean, because the one that goes like this,
Mm-hmm.
I'm poking my eye out. I mean, I can't figure out
I
most
don't
of the
know
two of the damn things, so I
You
get
always
straight.
recommend one.
I know.
So,
I like that it's small because
Only
I can
person
get on
I
the
will use.
inside.
Yes, yes.
Whereas when they're the bigger brushes, I'm afraid because then I keep knocking here,
Right.
and I'm with the Q-tip when it's wet, like I got yelled at today. It was smudging all over.
Yeah.
But other than that, I always use black. So it's really about, I'm wiggling at the base and carrying it out. That's good.
That's why she looks like she has no makeup on. I mean, it's so natural. She looks like she has nothing on.
That's my goal. I'm not supposed to know what I'm wearing, right? Actually, I'm not allowed to be the focus when I work with clients, so I'm really not allowed to wear a lot of makeup.
really,
If you have a really,
Because you don't
Can't
get better than
outshine
these
them.
models,
Right.
Can't outshine your clients.
it hasn't, it's not even the models. If I'm working with a celebrity, I cannot wear a lot of makeup. So, normally I would apply it directly with the brush, but for sanitary purposes, I'm not going to. Look up for me. I'm now
It's the
going to
best.
take the concealer. This is very similar to Touche Éclat.
Mhm.
So, if anyone really knows how to properly use Touche Éclat,
Yeah, no.
it's,
No.
no?
No, I always, I turn it comes out in like one gob, and then I just kind of do, and I hope for the best. Never want my sunglasses. And then I go to work.
It's great. This is a great concealer.
Never even heard
So I'm taking it and pressing it in with my finger. Actually, I personally prefer it because I'm so used to
Good.
not using.
Does this also come in colors?
Yes, they all come in a range of shades. So I'm using light for you, and I'm pressing it in. And again, I've not yet blended it. So this is something called baking your concealer. And baking.
Okay.
So I am allowing the concealer to settle in, warm up, and actually naturally oxidize with your natural skin oils.
Mhm.
So it thickens a bit before you blend it in, and that's how you. Can you
Yes.
look this way for
Yeah,
me?
it is.
This is how you actually get more coverage out of a thinner concealer. So you allow it to kind of. Your skin will naturally oxidize the product. It thickens up with the heat.
Mhm.
So I'm actually just placing it on, pressing it in, and I'm gonna let it sit there for a second.
Her eyes are
Your eyes are
Twinkling.
so good.
Yeah. Yeah, like
She
so
ever
good.
so
No,
needed
she
for
took 10
concealer.
years
She-
off your age,
Die.
Marilyn. I think you should hire her and keep her with you.
I'm taking her home, what do you mean?
You can't afford her, but that's
That's
okay.
okay, that's okay.
So good luck with that.
So the good thing about the concealer is it can be used as a little bit of a highlighter as well.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing it down into like a little bit of a triangle, but I don't want you all to get carried away in terms of like a Kim Kardashian highlight contour kind of thing. It's not necessary. This is a more natural.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a clean MAC 217 brush and I'm going to start blending in the first eye. Down the center of the nose, a little bit on the chin, around the nose area. Everyone has a little bit of broken capillary around the nose, so whenever you're putting concealer on, don't forget that area. You don't want to place it right on there, but don't forget the area. Look up for me.
Hey, Mom.
And I always like to just bring it in under the eyebrow because it's not a good idea to put shimmer up here,
Mm-hmm.
right under the brow bone. So I will, after I've done the makeup application,
That's
blend
the
out.
concealer?
It's just what's left on
Left
the
of
brush.
concealer? Yeah.
Oh.
So whatever is left on my brush, I'm just putting the concealer.
So you don't recommend the highlighter that I use from Benefit with all my other eyebrow stuff that I use?
The highbrow, is it called highbrow?
Eyebrow, yeah.
Yeah. It's not my favorite.
She's like,
product.
yeah, no.
No.
Throw it out. Or donate it.
Now, did anyone who got really tweezer happy in the 90s with
Me.
their brows?
Probably me.
Me.
So this is going to be for you. These are our brow pencils.
Mhm.
And again, I'm warming it up because our brow pencils tend to be a bit stiffer. They have a little bit more wax to it for staying power. So you really want to warm it for like a hot second on the hand, even in the palm of your hand.
Do you brow powder as well as a pencil? Or?
We don't have brow powder, but you can literally take, if you're light enough,
Mhm.
in our warm palette,
Mhm.
there is a light brown powder that can be used.
Yeah.
And I'll probably even use it on her, but I will take, you can relax your brows.
I have like a heavy hand, so it looks something like James Bond, right?
Yeah, you draw it
Or
on.
just, it's just too
So-
thick, it's just too dark for me.
It's
No
always,
matter how
it's
light.
always about the stroke. Instead of making one long stroke, make a whole lot of short ones. So you wanna, basically, you're drawing hair.
Oh,
So you see what I'm doing? I'm just drawing tiny little strokes.
it's a little.
And it's just to basically like enhance what's already there and create a little bit of a shadow. You're not supposed to see
Wow.
this.
Wow, yeah.
So you see the difference?
Marilyn,
Oh my God,
turn.
big time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's very simple. Look at me. It's
and the
very
shape makes it look softer now,
right.
like
And-
so much softer than your other eyebrow mat.
So it's really just about the tiny little
I've never used a
strokes.
pencil. No, neither have I, 'cause you don't
I
want
want
to
to
see
like
me
this
with a
together
pencil.
at benefit, and then I just like go like this.
Yeah, me too. Me too, you don't want to see me with a pencil. Okay, so Brett, you have to have me like.
I got it, don't worry.
Eyebrows 101 for Karen.
And there you go. So it's just basically a shadow.
Yes,
And you, if you were to come up close to her, you can't see that I put anything there because it's tiny little strokes that blend in with the hair.
so when you put the little strokes, then do you blend them in again? Like around?
You can.
No,
So if it comes off too strong, you just take the little spoolie on the end of the brush and you brush into
Oh,
it.
okay, okay.
And
I
it
gotcha.
creates hair
Okay,
marks.
I see what you're saying, alright.
So, you know, I basically, I just.
my
Remember the days
God.
ago, he used to wear a
So good.
toothbrush?
Yeah.
Remember those and make them go up? I have one of those suckers.
So I'm gonna take the bronzer
Yeah.
with, this is actually a really great brush. It's our face brush, our Beautycounter face
right.
brush. And I'm gonna, it's kind of tapered towards the end. I'm gonna take just the tips, the tip of it, tap it off a little bit, tilt up for me. I am going to, anyone who ever tells me they have a double chin, I'm literally very lightly, just allowing it to,
Wait, but you're doing the darker, not the highlighter color?
under her chin.
Uh.
I'm going to contour now, but this is a really light contour. So I'm taking the bronzer, and it's a matte bronzer, not a shimmery bronzer.
Right.
And I am literally just, she has a natural dip, most people do.
Mhm.
And I'm just taking it right below here, and I'm carrying it down. So what happens is it actually, anyone who tells me they have a turkey neck,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, can you get rid of this, or they're pulling at it. I mean, I can't get rid of it, but I can create an illusion that it's not there.
Yeah.
And it's the power of makeup. So, and you kind of go along the jawline.
That's Rudy. That's Rudy.
He's so cute.
And this is the bronzer one, which is like the most popular color.
Mm-hmm.
It works on everyone. It's a matte bronzer. I'm not the fan of a colored bronzer. So, like a shimmery bronzer. Look straight. So now you can see there's a shadow there. And it looks like it's almost
Yeah.
lifted. It's very, very soft. If I wanted to create this with a cream and really do a drastic change, I could.
Mhm.
Same thing with a cream. You just use a foundation that's darker. So now I'm just going to carry the bronzer anywhere the sun might hit. It's not a heavy color bronzer.
Okay.
You're going down first.
I always go down towards the face. I never go back. Because when you place the brush in the
It's
powder,
more.
you get more color, and so I don't want the deposit of color to be here. I want it to be here. So I literally, turn that way for me. I literally start into the ear.
Right.
You see how far I'm going up?
Yeah.
In the ear. So, and then I kind of just circular motions in an upward direction. So,
That looks seamless, though. It's unbelievable.
Right.
It's
so
really
you
nice.
can't see it.
Yeah.
And again, in the hairline.
Oh.
Makes sense.
In the hairline above. And this, anyone who is like, feels like they're had a little bit of a big forehead.
Rachel, why not here? Because I mean, I get sunburnt here.
Because you want the center of your face to glow.
Okay.
You want it to be that prominent part. That's where the healthiness comes and shines from. So pregnancy glow, everything comes from the center of the face.
We're avoiding that glow.
Been there, done
Right,
that.
well, this room young enough to still have them, yes.
I think anyone, whenever there's a picture, when I say that I'm doing it for photography purposes, because if you were to take a picture of her after this is done, you're gonna see the light will catch where I placed the lighter colors as opposed to, and it will create a natural shadow as to where, and it makes her bone structure look more defined.
Right,
So it's really not.
Remember that, Karen.
I took notes.
Yep.
You can't wash your face for a month, Master.
Ah.
Just what I tell you.
You need to go out tonight.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
let's go.
Look that way for me. So again, you just, kind of carry it down.
I'm from Douglas.
Yes, okay. Yes.
I can just clean it
I will then I'll take a smaller brush, like a fluffier brush. And if anyone has a little bit of a bump on the nose, I may go right down the sides of the nose, just to create a little bit more of a defined into the brow.
That's the highlighter, Rachel?
This is actually the bronzer.
Oh, it's still the bronzer?
And you can see, even with really, really light, super pigmented colors, you can really do a lot of definition with the face. It's very easy to do so. So again, I'll take another smaller brush, and this is like a little bit bigger highlighter, and I will just kind of roll it. I'm not really brushing it, I'm just rolling.
And that highlights the cheekbones?
Mm-hmm.
Is that?
But I'm pressing it into the skin, so you're not getting like a deposit of lots of little sparkles. I'm pressing it into its spot.
Okay.
And then I will do the last but not least, which is the blush. And again, you're gonna see me go in, not out. Turn this way for me. So I'm gonna start right around here, and I very lightly swirl. And whatever's left, I then go into the cheek and bring back up. Now look straight. Can you see the difference?
Beautiful.
It looks really natural. It looks like a natural glow from within.
Should've done this before I figured that.
Right?
And again, I might just take a little bit.
Yeah.
This is too much.
If you ever saw what I do at home, you would die.
I am going to
Yeah, right?
give you a little pop of color on your lip.
Okay.
This is Raisin.
Oh, one of my favorite colors.
This is her lip sheer.
I'm obsessed. I know.
Hmm.
Yeah. Go to red.com.
And these are very, very hydrating.
Shed, this color would look beautiful on you.
Yeah.
I think it looks good on everybody. It's a lip sheer.
Oh, for, yeah.
It's
The light,
it's
yeah.
not a lipstick, it's a sheer. It comes, it's not as,
Flat for me.
it doesn't stain. And then you put the gloss on top. Oh, sorry, I'm terrible at
What? I don't.
I'm like,
you don't
it
have
was
to
looking
tape
at the,
anymore.
it was looking at the, refrigerator.
Is it pretty?
Not as pretty as Marilyn.
But Rachel, my girlfriends want you to just tell them some of their colors and you'll do that for them?
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. The palettes make it really easy. Honestly, these holiday palettes, you're getting 6 eyeshadows, a bronzer, blush, and highlighter for $58.
Yeah.
I mean, you really can't go wrong with that.
See, I heard this morning because she said if you have light eyes, you have to.
That's why that I always, I thought
That's
it was
wrong.
right.
Me too.
Because I don't know, because
Me too.
Right, okay, so, we have to talk, Rachel, when you're done.
Gorgeous. Are you gonna put a gloss,
I
Rachel?
am. Can I fig?
Sure.
Sorry.
Hold this.
I don't need to.
Oh, it's so pretty.